Hello, and welcome to the Angry, Annoyed, and Amused Pod. How many beers have you guys had?
7, 8.
What are you trying to say?
Really? How long have you been here?
Since 5 o'clock.
Yeah, I don't know. So
Oh,
I've been here since 9.
How did you get here?
Yeah.
I took the train to the feet.
Nobody picked them up.
That makes more sense.
The
now.
bitch is like.
I'm getting it now.
I was hosting.
I'm getting it.
He tells me I'll pick you up from the train, and I was like,
said
all right.
maybe. I
So
said, let me know.
I text him when I'm like 4 stops away. I'm like 4 stops away. But if you're, and I said it like, but no pressure. I can walk too. And he instantly replies, "Great, I'm hosting." I'm like,
I didn't say great.
you pretty much did.
I said sorry. I'm hosting.
No, you never said sorry.
No,
Who were you?
I did say great because you said
Who
I
were
could
you
walk.
Yeah, see?
I said you can walk. So
Yeah,
Who were you hosting?
exactly. I don't think anybody. So I look
my
at this.
sister-in-law was here. I had a host her.
Okay. So I look at it and I'm like, oh, he's joking. He's being Michael.
No, I
So I
wasn't.
get off the train and I was fine with really walking. And I looked out like the side where you can see.
And a
And I
tear
saw a
ran
car
down
and I thought it was his rims.
A tear ran
I
down
thought
his
it was
face.
his rims too. I was like, yeah, I knew he'd be here. And then I walk out. I'm like, oh, it's actually not him. And I was like, oh, and I stood there for like a minute or two thinking he just wasn't there yet. And I was like, guess he's really not coming.
What would have hurt more? If I said right off the bat I'm not picking you up? Or if I said, look, there's hope. I'll try and pick you up if I can. But what hurts more?
I think what hurts
think-
the wait, no, I think what
less
hurts.
if you say it off the bat, because then you know during the train ride.
Yeah, exactly.
But then I feel like
You
you're just
have it in
saying.
your
I think the earlier the better.
I legitimately
Yeah,
said
I
to
agree.
him- I legitimately said to him, I'll try and pick you up. Let me know when you're a couple of stops away.
Right.
And
I
did.
didn't know I was going to have to host somebody.
He wasn't hosting anybody.
I was hosting someone. You can't just
Yeah,
leave
but that
a
sounds
person.
more fake.
It is
But it
fake.
wasn't
You know what I
fake.
mean?
It's
It
fake.
wasn't fake. I got backed up on it too.
Lisa was over here, and then she went out with.
No, it was Paula.
Oh, Paula was over here, and then she left with
Get
Kim.
a 50-50
But I
shot.
couldn't leave
Yeah,
her.
he just. Yeah,
I couldn't just leave her here.
I don't feel she was here for you. She was here for Kim.
No, she was here for me.
She was.
came to visit.
She was not here for you. And then the way
Yeah, but
she.
either way, I understand that you're like, I might have actually been able to pick him up, and then somebody showed up.
Right.
But then you should have said something different than I'm hosting.
Why?
Exactly. Yeah.
Because I'm hosting sounds like a joke.
Exactly.
I
That's
said.
what I thought.
Paula
I
came
won't
over.
make it.
Or
Yeah,
or
I
text
won't
me.
make it.
Waiting for
Text-
Kim to get
Okay,
home.
so maybe the way I said it,
Or
but it was the truth.
No,
It
but he
wasn't
could
a lie.
have also
Yeah, well,
texted me during when he found out. Say, hey, if you get back, Paul is over. I won't be able to
Johnny,
get you.
I think that's
Well,
a
I'm saying,
pretty-
look, there's two different
contrary to
things.
your popular belief, I don't think of you every minute.
No, I think you do.
I
Hey, wait,
think-
and then
But did
Ed,
you know
I'd
the whole
probably in my
time that she
mind,
was
I
coming
forgot.
over?
Look,
She was here the whole time. I thought she was going to be gone by then.
wait, and then Ed, to insult, he orders the pizza for everybody.
No, I ordered the pizza for you.
There you go.
Because I knew you had to walk. I felt bad.
I felt bad, but he made a comment like how he spent money.
no,
and I'm like, yes,
no,
you
no,
did.
No, no.
And I'm
I
like,
never make a
I'm like,
comment about money.
No, the
So
way
cut
you
it
said
out.
it.
No,
He goes,
no.
I had to spend money because I felt bad because
No.
you had to walk. And I
No.
said it would have been
Johnny.
cheaper to just pick me up then.
I never make a comment about
This
money.
time you did.
No, I did
This
not.
one time you did.
You asked me about the money.
No.
Why is there money on the table?
Right, and
I
then
said because I had to buy you a
no,
pizza
you said
because
I
felt bad
I
about
had
you
to spend
walking.
money to buy you pizza because I felt bad you were walking. So I was like, it would have been cheaper for you to just pick me up. I said,
That's wrong.
it was
Give me
wrong.
the pizza back.
I will in about an hour. I still love you.
It was legitimate.
I think
wasn't legitimate.
Yeah, I think it was bad
I
phrasing.
might not
but
let him
I-
spend
Yeah.
the night. You think it was
fair.
bad?
I think it was.
The phrasing.
I think phrasing.
The
bad
phrasing.
phrasing.
No, Matt. Listen.
I think
let me
it's
say,
a pretty
let me
liberal
just say
use
this,
of the word
Matt. Let me
hosting.
just say
There
this.
we go.
Somebody's over the whole time.
You, and there's no way I'm going to be wrong about this.
No,
And if you
fuck
say
not.
I'm wrong, I'm coming across the table. You would actually
Half the
tell somebody
table.
I'll pick you up at 5 and show up at 7 and think nothing of it.
You would.
So cut it out. Please.
Yeah.
Please. He offered that he could walk. I happen to have somebody here. I told him initially I may be able to pick you up. I'll let you know. That was fair. You will tell somebody, I'll get you at 5. And you'll show up at 7.
Listen,
and
I
you'll be like,
think-
well, I had to go to
I think
McDonald's.
I think your
I had to
criticism.
go over here.
I think your criticism of me doesn't invalidate. It was pretty bad phrasing to say.
He's
like,
going after you 'cause it's
regardless,
easy.
Yeah, if you want to say, if you want to go after me for it, fine. I'll own that. But it doesn't change the fact that it is bad free. Like
No, it's
saying
not.
Like,
it
you
sounds
knew-
like a joke when
You
you're
knew
saying
somebody
it
was
like
coming
that.
over.
No.
That
she
was-
was
they're already
She
here.
was here. And I said to Johnny,
You assumed she was gonna
I
be
said,
gone.
you let me know when you're a couple of stops away, and I'll let you know if I can get you.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
And then when he let me know
But
if
did
it
he
was a
know
couple-
when you said I'm hosting? Did he know that somebody was actually?
I had
what,
no
what
idea.
does it
Or-
matter
no,
what the
'cause
reason
it sounds
is?
like
because it
joke.
just sounds like a
But
joke.
it's not a joke.
That's what makes it bad
It
phrasing.
wasn't a joke. It was a true thing.
I get.
I thought it
get
was
that.
sarcastic.
I understand.
I
that,
thought
but
it was
sounds
completely
like a joke.
sarcastic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, it's not like I don't know these people. So
Yeah,
he could have
right.
been like,
He coulda
Paul
said
is
Paul is
over.
here.
Like, and I'm like,
That's
all right, cool.
That's our point.
Yeah.
Or if you had the first time mentioned and you said somebody's
go
here,
again. Here we
if
go
I
again.
can leave.
Yeah, if you just
Caught
said
up in the
somebody,
semantics of
somebody's
life.
here. That's what I
if they're
mean.
gone by the time I can.
But like
pick them
saying
Exactly.
I'm hosting, that's what I mean. It's a.
That totally
it
sounds
was
like a joke.
Yeah, it's-
unfair.
In
not
fact,
unfair, it
in
was
fact, I called Leonora on the way here, on the way walking, because I hadn't
cry?
talked to her all day. No, I hadn't talked to her all day, and she's like, "Where are you at right now?" I was like, "I actually got to go off the train, but I have time to talk if you want to talk." Because I'm walking over to Michael's house, and she goes, "Oh, you're walking?" And then I said, "Yeah, he's hosting somebody."
You don't have a Metro card?
And she's-
could have took the bus, you know.
I don't know,
Buses
but-
stink.
No, the walk is fine. I didn't mind walking. But she's like, I was just like, I'm hosting. And she's like, he's hosting? And I was like, yeah, he said he's hosting someone. I don't know what that means. And I said, I think he's joking with me.
I wasn't joking.
But the word
Fine.
hosting.
Okay, fine. I said it that way. All right.
The
way-
some
Fair
more
enough.
clarification.
Fair enough.
The
I
word
think.
hosting
Yeah,
is
I
weird.
feel like- yeah, I think
You know,
pretty liberal use
Yeah.
the word hosting.
Fair enough. I don't know. I was sitting out in
Did you
the
put a
sun.
cake
Maybe
out?
I was having a
see,
stroke.
that's fine.
Put a cake
I'm
out.
sitting in the sun.
yeah,
stroke.
right. Is there
Put a
You
cake
wanna-
out.
Why? It's not hosting unless you put a cake out?
I'm just
That's
asking.
true.
I'm just asking if you put a cake
I
out.
offered. You want anything to eat? You want anything to drink? All she wanted was water. That's not my fault.
No, you just got to have it out.
stuff?
Yeah, I mean, not really hosting.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
not
know.
hosting.
Listen,
You know what I mean?
you know what, guys? Don't talk to me about hosting.
You know how to host.
I'm a pretty damn.
You
good
are a
host.
great
good
host.
host. You're a good
You
host.
are a great
if,
host.
If Brian was at my house, right, and you were like, "Hey, Mike, I need something," I was like, "I can't. I'm hosting." And you're like, "Who are you hosting?" I'm like, "Oh, Brian's
I would
here."
ask. He
you
never
would go
asked.
no, but then
He
you would
never
immediately
asked.
go, "You're not hosting
yeah.
Brian. Bring him."
He's just, yeah,
You know what I mean?
he's hanging out.
You know what I mean?
You've been like, he's
It's
just
different.
hanging out.
It's like there's a different
It's-
level
yeah.
when it's like
Yeah, Paula was just
family
hanging out.
friend who's like
There's
was
an implication.
close and who
Yeah,
was here
Yeah.
as a
What if she needed
stopover.
something? What if I left and she needed something?
I'm
That's
not saying
the-
I'm
yeah,
not saying
not
you should have
saying-
left.
yeah.
You should have said it.
But the word
differently.
hosting, you're not hosting
You host
Paula.
parties. You know what I mean? You host guests.
Yeah,
Groups
you're
of
not
people.
hosting
You
Paula.
like host your
Very-
family.
You're hanging
Very
out with
technical
Paula.
of me.
That was
Johnny
the-
could have asked who you're hosting.
I wasn't
Fair
gonna-
enough,
fair,
I,
but-
By that point, it didn't matter. I'm
Yeah.
saying he was already like, what is he doing?
he's hosting.
But what? So what about his confused? That's not my problem.
He was just speaking about how he felt left out in the cold. 'Cause
Johnny,
you're like,
okay,
maybe I'll pick
Johnny
you up,
always
and then you
feels left
suddenly
out
go,
in the
I'm
cold,
hosting.
First of all,
Fair enough.
No,
That's
that's
fine.
Fair.
That's fair.
and maybe that's part of the reason I said hosting.
I think
just
could have
to
just
throw
said
him
it
off.
differently.
Wow.
Because I
That's
do
what-
like the
that's
bus
what I'm
chops a
saying,
little bit.
is that-
I am a chop buster.
So there you go.
So maybe I did
So
that.
right,
There you
maybe
are.
Right.
subconsciously.
So you
Now
were-
we're
You
there.
were joking a little bit.
Now we're there. Finally. I love you.
No, you don't.
I do love
No,
you.
you don't. No, you
You're
don't.
my favorite.
No, you don't. Good luck with that deck, by the way.
I shouldn't have said that on there. Favorite.
I was just thinking about something while we were all talking. Now I
About
can't
hosting?
remember.
What's really weird is
Now,
this
something that
episode was
annoys me
supposed
about
to
one
be
of
about
these
something
things-
that does not tie
Save for the
into
next
this.
one.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
No, it was what were we hosting? No, it wasn't that. Nothing bothers me about hosting really.
Walking from the train, the buses.
No, I don't mind
Nothing bothers you
walking.
about
Oh,
hosting?
That,
Really?
I mean, I've
Vague
I've
statements?
only.
Oh my god, my biggest thing with hosting is I hate like doing you know you do every like people that can't put their bottles and cans away when they get a new beer. That's one of my biggest things.
The thing that bothers me about hosting personally, and I know that it's just like
or their plates and
I'm in
everything.
like a mid-range age between like
yeah.
being pretty much like a college,
Yeah, we're
like where hosting
we're
doesn't
in our
really
30s
exist.
now.
You're kind of just having people come over, and then like your 30s into like eventually 40s,
Actually
hopefully, obviously,
hosting.
where like you really have to like throw a party.
Yeah.
But so it like, and we've talked about this a little bit because I know we talked about like decorating for holidays.
right.
And decorating for a party, I think, is good. Like it makes it feel whatever.
Festive.
But and again, I think this is just because I'm in the mid gap. I feel like it's sometimes a lot of wasted effort.
It
Because
is.
the only thing to me that really makes a good party is the cohesion of the people that are
Yeah,
there.
who's
People?
there?
So if it's like,
Like
if it's
people?
like
who's
like
there?
we have good parties, I think a large reason is because most of the people that are there are family and friends,
Yep.
almost exclusively. Like there's never outside people, so
Why would
everybody
there
knows each other, huh?
Why would that be?
Sometimes people.
But by
host
outside, I
parties
just mean
where,
like
you know,
I mean
you
like
bring-
a friend of a friend.
Yeah, you bring
like
somebody.
if I was going to a party at Matt's house and he had his friends from one side and then me and like we wouldn't. Those two groups would know each other. Everybody here that would come here for a party
Generally knows
pretty
each
much knows each other. So there's never any awkward like
Okay.
times.
Okay.
That and like drinking or
Drinking and food.
like drinking. And I guess food if you're like I don't really I'll like buy pizza. I'm
Yeah,
not
order
cooking.
some
I'm not
pizza.
doing like
Yeah.
catering at my when I do like a Halloween party or whatever.
Okay.
So I don't even think about but I get that as well. But like the decorations go so like unnoticed,
Yeah.
unappreciated, whatever,
You
which
really-
is fine.
you
Like I
gotta
don't
do it for
expect
yourself.
people.
Depends on the level.
I don't expect
It
people to
depends on
appreciate
the
them.
level of decoration.
But I feel like, oh man, I could have saved myself
Yes, it's
an
true.
hour
Yeah.
of time hanging up little bats
That's
because
true.
nobody once said those bats were cool, but everybody remembers like
But people do.
you know who won the beer pong game or whatever, like that kind of thing.
There is
Yeah.
a certain level of decorating that people notice. Like
Certain
we've
people.
had some
I do
parties
think you.
here.
I
Well, I
think
think
certain
to, I
people.
think to
certain
Mike's
people
point,
will notice the
I think
decorations,
to Mike's
and
point,
other
it's
people
the,
won't. But
it's
I think
the age
your
range.
age
I think
group-
it's the age.
I think it's
range.
age
Yeah.
thing.
If
No,
you
they
had-
just
as
care
you-
about.
If you had all the same people that we have here to one of your parties, and
They'd be
you
like,
decorated,
"What?"
Yeah,
they
they'd
would,
like
they
it.
would
yeah,
notice.
no,
Yeah.
I agree. I
It's
think
the
that is
people
a.
that you have.
I
It's
do
the age
think,
thing.
but I do I decorate for parties at my house that I'm hosting,
Yeah, no, I
and
get it.
it's like it's good, but sometimes
do
I'm
it
like,
for
"Ah, I
yourself."
feel like we're going overboard. Like we put a bunch up, and it's like let's put more up, and I'm like, I think for the people
be
who
okay.
are coming,
You're
It'll be
happy
okay.
with
we're
it.
at a good level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But to get back, like I know, I could show you pictures and videos from some parties we've had here, where the cleanup is massive.
Clean
I
up.
mean, you're
Yeah.
talking about cups,
Oh, for
cans.
like decorations,
It's,
you
yeah,
mean?
it's like
No, just
No,
the
okay,
people
so not
leaving
quite
their
as bad
shit.
as
Oh,
like
just-
when we went to the tent in Rockaway, right? Just recently, you were at a
Yep.
St. Patrick's Day.
Rockaway, same, yeah. They do it like a week or
They
two
do it
before.
like a week
It's just
before.
not on St. Patty's Day. But
Okay,
yeah,
but
it's
that's
a St. Patty's Day
that,
party.
Not quite to that level, but I'm telling you, man, this yard sometimes it looks like I don't know what happened to it.
Yeah, no.
I get I wake up the next day and I'm like, what happened here, man? I can't even understand myself.
Yeah.
Cups, cans.
I mean, that's why every time
things just littered about.
I always put the
You can't
can.
expect people like things get out of control.
But it's
People
simple
don't
stuff.
clean
I
up
always
after
put the
themselves.
can, the garbage can for bottles right next to where you're getting a new bottle, thinking they're gonna drop it, pick up a new one. Move on.
No.
They don't do it.
I gotta separate the garbage
Yeah,
the next day.
the plate-
I
I
gotta
have-
pull all the cans out and the dirt.
I'm just so shocked.
the food. People don't do it. They don't pay attention.
So lazy. Some
They-
people.
I put a
Listen.
blue pail out. Like,
Yeah.
and they still
They-
can't like figure it
but
out.
they just leave
They
it there.
probably try in the beginning.
No,
but you get to a
come
certain
on.
point,
I mean-
especially with, like you're talking about bottles, like especially if people are drinking. You get to a certain point.
The
they're not paying
bottles
attention
almost
anymore.
I don't like the bottles either. I can kind of see it because like, oh, you leave this and you go get, but the food plate, like
Yeah,
I
the
don't
plate-
I don't
the
see
plate,
how you
that's
can ever
different.
leave a plate laying around.
I think it becomes food. I can't really comment.
Yeah,
on. I really don't
food,
do like a lot of food in my house, so it's usually that's not a bad cleanup. But the drinks, I think I can, and I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong. You've had more, and Johnny, you maybe as well. That it's like it's never really just like beers or like cans like left on a table. It's like if you start having like games, that all gets left. But I kind of like I will say that I kind of get that because like when you're playing games and stuff, you're never unless everybody all at once is like, okay, we're done with this event, like we're done playing games,
Let's
put the
clean up.
table away.
Right.
It's kind of always out.
Yeah.
Like if you have cups set up for like beer pong and then it becomes like flip cup or what, like games like that, you'll just leave them because you're like, well, the next we might play in another 5 minutes, and then eventually you just don't. But by that point, you're not thinking, oh,
Yeah.
we just came from a game, like we were playing games, we started talking for a minute, let's go clean up. So I just, you know what I mean? So I feel like that was always like it always gets the messiest at my parties when we when we take out a bunch of solo cups and we start playing games around a table
And they're all
because
over
then
the
that
place.
all gets left and
Right.
they get, then they're on the ground. And
Blown
stuff. That
around.
makes it
Get
look way
knocked
more
over.
messy.
Yeah.
Nah,
It's just
that
not-
was
like, even if everything's
the
on a
last
table-
party we had here. One of our big pet peeves, me and my wife, and we stopped doing it. We used to do bottles of water. Like it's bad. Like you still find half a
Oh
beer.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like
The
a
bottles
ton
of water
water.
piss me off. You
Yeah.
find half bottles of water everywhere.
yeah.
So we just bought those big water like jug things, and we just fill
Fill
that
them
up, water and ice.
That's the way to do it.
That's
Oh,
yeah,
the
that's
bottles,
the best way,
bottles
yeah.
of water, you find them everywhere. It's
Yep.
like people just take it and like forget about
Take
it.
a
you
sip of
forget,
it and leave it
A lot
behind.
easier to forget about a bottle of water than a beer.
But people
Yeah.
people leave beers.
Well,
believe me.
no.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
it.
yeah.
People
Definitely.
leave beers too. It's like, yeah, I
Especially
actually,
the fake drinkers.
You should. I don't know if you could insert some pictures into this thing. I could send you some pictures, man. Of
Might be
parties
hard
that we
about
cleaned
it.
up.
We can. By the way, you're wearing green shirt, so
Oh,
that's
you
our
put it right on your
that's our
chest.
green screen.
Yeah, you could just put it on a shirt.
You can put it on my shirt.
Oh, your
You
shirt's
gotta
gonna be
give 'em
full.
a flat. Give him a flat.
There's no flat.
Yeah.
There's no flat.
Your chest. I mean,
How am I gonna flatten out?
turn
Turn around.
Have you seen my body?
Turn around.
Turn sideways.
Turn backwards.
Turn
Just
sideways.
to give it as much.
That's the worst. That's the least.
Forward.
It's not even all green though.
No.
Should I turn it backwards?
Give us your
Yeah.
back.
Yeah,
Give us your
whatever.
back.
Excellent.
Hope it was
Listen,
enough.
if he's a technology guy, he should be able to insert a picture into this video here. I'm just
I
saying.
guess
got
that's
you.
true.
Well, pictures of what? You didn't describe it.
Yeah.
I'm saying the yard cleanups.
Oh,
that we've
Give
had.
me, send me
We've
pictures.
had some massive cleanups here.
Please send me pictures. I'll
Yeah,
post
I
them up.
believe it.
But see, but that was always from living here.
You hate
I
it.
used to. No. Well, yes.
Yes.
No, but the cleanup, it used to bug me more having to clean up the things that we put up than
The
And
stuff
the-
that
and the
people
than
left.
stuff that's left
Yeah,
over.
you
'Cause I
set
feel
it
like
all
that's
up.
just trash.
You set it all up, and then you
Yeah.
got to break it down.
Like I
again.
feel like that's all just trash. You pick it up. It's honestly the quickest part. But then it's like we got to take all this stuff down, all the
Yeah.
stuff we hung up.
I get
And
that.
I'm like that part of it felt like
It's annoying.
I
yeah,
get that.
you know, and that's why like I understand it's the thing you got to do, and I do think there's the age. Like as you get older, you do more of that because
And
you
people
probably
appreciate it more.
honestly probably just because you balance it out with you generally drink less.
Wow.
You know, on average.
Maybe.
No way.
It depends.
Depends on the
depends
group.
on the night and the group.
It depends for sure. I'm not saying all the time. It's just like
Never.
Yeah, I think
if
on
you're a
average.
group of like 22-year-olds, like at least, I don't know when I was 22, like
You're
that
not
you
re-
kind
you're
of had a
not-
drinking, like your party was drinking. It
Right,
wasn't.
It's not the decorations.
You didn't even have. We didn't have like themes most of the time. Like throughout my college experience, we had like 2, 3 maybe like real themed parties.
You
Everything
guys are
else was
missing
like
out.
just a party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're not really, because we never would. I mean, okay, I guess if the idea is like you set everything up, but then also, especially in college, nobody would have cared.
No, no.
You know what I mean? You could have done it. Like, it's a thing. I'm not necessarily at my school, but I know, like, I've just seen videos and stuff. Like, frats do it because they have, like, peons. Like, they get the pledges.
To play.
Right.
So, like, they're like, hey, this kid has a day, and I can tell him to do whatever. So I'll have him set up this, like, or them set up this, like, whole thing. And they'll have, like, parties with decorations.
That's what
But I don't think it's ever, like, looked
That's
at.
what I thought I was gonna have.
It's
when
just
I
like
had
a
kids.
thing.
It didn't work out.
Yeah. Well, they're children for most of the time.
My children
you know?
didn't work out, but in that way.
You know, what are you going to do about that?
Sometimes we had them, sometimes we didn't. You know, Haley turned out to be quite the decorator, though. She does a lot now.
Yeah.
So when we
That's
have
true.
parties, she does a lot of decorating. People appreciate it, though.
I do
People that
think
are
they
like
do.
people
I
appreciate
do
it.
think they
I
do.
think people
But I just think
appreciate
there's a
But there's a certain age range where you're
or
not.
like
Yeah, it does.
what do
No,
they
no,
say?
for sure.
Diminishing returns.
Yeah.
I will tell
Right,
you.
like to put a decoration
And-
out
Yeah.
from
I-
nothing.
I
If you
say
just
this
put out
all
a
the
bowl or
time.
something.
We did
I agree.
We did a Halloween party one year. Now we had lots of like theme parties, right? And people would do anything we asked them to do. Wear army uniforms, wear gowns and tuxedos for the prom, right? We had those things.
70s pajamas or whatever.
Yep.
Willing
Except-
participants.
70s. They
I didn't like the all black.
cut off
Say it again.
shorts and what?
I didn't like the all black.
Let's talk about New Year's. Black and white.
That,
Oh,
that
yeah.
theme. Hated that one.
Well,
I didn't like the toga.
that's why you never got invited back.
We
And
can
then
do a toga party.
But
That's
then
why
we
I
had a
like it.
Halloween party and we went all out on decorating and food
It
and
was a
everything.
toga.
And it bombed. It bombed. I never had a Halloween party again.
It was what?
It bombed. I think it was because of the costumes.
People hate costumes.
Yeah.
I hate costumes.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
hate costumes.
Well, no, I don't think people hate costumes. I said I think it was because of the costumes.
Yeah, but like what? What about them?
I don't know. Something about people being in a costume, trying to be something other than what they really are in life, kind of ruined the whole mood. I don't know. I know it's a weird
That's
thing,
odd,
but
but you've been to other Halloween costumes that
Yeah.
were fun. You guys have told the story a million
not,
times about
not at this house.
the not. Oh, okay, but then it's like it's
because
cursed.
a
I mean,
theme party is one thing, right? We
Right.
have a theme party. We ask people to do a certain thing.
Right.
Everybody's
But
in
then a
it.
costume party, right, was just a costume party. You know what I'm saying?
I guess.
It wasn't a theme per se.
So they felt like,
I hate
oh,
costumes.
it's too
You understand
boring.
what I'm saying? Like there was no theme to a Halloween party,
It
basically.
was just
right?
a party.
Like,
People
Like,
were
if we
expecting
said,
like
look,
a thing to do.
If we said everybody has to come dressed as Dracula,
Yeah.
right? I bet you it would have been a much better.
Well, that
time.
probably is.
You know what I
okay.
mean? Like we're gonna just
Okay.
do.
I
We're
guess-
gonna do a Dracula cast.
Yeah, but that-
we're
To
all
your
Dracula.
point, it was just
because
because they
people
were
have-
spoiled by coming here because every other party
That's-
had events.
That's what I think.
Like they had
Yeah.
times. It was
Yes.
like, hey, at
And
8
we had
o'clock.
no events.
At 8 o'clock it's
Correct.
dinner. Then we're gonna move everything and do the dance.
That's right.
Yeah.
Or like carnival, we had games set up and stuff. I get what
Right?
you're saying.
Remember
okay,
the
fair.
army one? We had
But then
the-
that's
we
just
had
here
the obstacle
because
course,
I've had like
the
two
Nerf gunfight,
Yeah. I've had like 2 or
won
3
capture the
Halloween
flag.
parties and they're always a good time.
and it's just a party.
It's just a party,
Right. You don't have
But nobody's
any-
expecting
exactly.
events.
They're not expecting events, and that's
Yeah.
what I think happened here.
Yeah.
Everybody was like kind of like they
You
didn't know
think-
what to
They
do.
were
You know, really,
lost,
you know what I
yeah,
think it
they
was
don't
too.
know.
What would have saved it, but you guys weren't at the time. It was that gap age thing. You guys weren't playing games. We were all too young. We were kids, and you guys were like just sitting around drinking. I'm sure, but like not.
We played games, but we played games with you guys from when you was this big. Like we always.
No. I'm talking like you guys played
sat
like
around and played
Pictionary late.
games.
I'm saying you got to play like drinking game. If you want to like liven up a party.
Oh, drinking games.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that like
between period.
as much as I know it sounds bad
That
that it's
could
like
be.
the only way to like it's not the only way to have fun at a party, but like as a
Sounds like
group.
that's what you're saying.
Does.
Look, for a group of 40 people,
No,
what are we
but it
gonna sing
works.
Kumbaya?
It's not the only way.
Right, but
it
works. It's
but a
effective
good
and
way.
it's easy
Yeah,
to do.
It's not the only way. but
Could you
it's
do
an
other
effective
things?
way.
Sure. Yeah, you could learn how to sing hymns or like practice
What, they do karaoke all the time.
Learn how to do a play. Well, karaoke's good, but like karaoke's way better when you're drinking.
It is.
I think everybody who's ever done karaoke would agree with
Did
that.
it drinking.
Absolutely.
So I'm just saying it was like a gap where like we were all young, but you guys were all like parents, and like you guys weren't, you know what I mean? Like, oh, let's all
It
get
could be.
really
It could
drunk.
be. I don't know.
Didn't
but
occur to you.
I just think I don't remember
because at
it
the other
exactly, but I
parties-
imagine
at the
that
other
would.
parties that we had, people.
But those had events. I don't ever
But they
remember
have
it
a
being like a
thing,
big
yeah.
drinking
No, I
thing.
think
It was
it's-
just like you were
I think
always.
it's what you said. I think it was the spoiling of people.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
expected to.
That makes sense.
Like
Yeah.
they come here and they expect to be like, okay, what are we doing next? What are we
I'm
doing
just saying,
next?
next time if you have a non-themed, just a party,
Mhm.
I think you're gonna have to lean more heavily on the drinking to balance it.
But
to
that's
balance
hard.
the
That's hard, right?
expectations.
That's hard because even drinking, right? Sometimes people drink, sometimes they
So
don't.
that's true.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
sometimes, like, and another thing that and I don't even know if anybody's going to listen to this episode, but it's all about our parties. But another thing that I know, like, sometimes it's all alcohol, sometimes it's all beer. I could fill up like
I get that.
two,
Yeah,
two
yeah,
coolers
yeah,
of beer and they don't go, but all the alcohol's gone. I'm throwing out bottles of vodka, bottles of rum.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then other times it's like all beer, and I don't even know if that's seasonally driven.
I don't
never
know.
really,
I've
like,
noticed
looked
that.
back
I
into
haven't had a lot of
Yeah,
parties,
that's
but
it
I've
depends
noticed
on
that.
what people drink. Like
Yeah.
all of a sudden shots are going, so you're going through bottles of liquor.
Yeah.
And
It's
the
just
beer, and
that.
the beer's not going anywhere.
It's really just that.
And
I
then
feel.
sometimes I come out and there's like 6 beers left in like 2 coolers worth of
Yeah.
stuff. You know, it,
Yeah.
it,
Yeah,
it really depends on
I get-
people's moods and.
Does. Because there's
Yeah, hard
days
to
I go
predict.
somewhere, I just want
Yeah,
to drink
hard to
wine.
predict, I think. Yeah.
That's just like a first mover thing. Like the first person to go like, oh, let's do shots.
Then yeah.
Then it
sets
might
up
like it's
everybody,
hypothetical. Like it,
It
could
might-
just be shots for there
could
on
catch
out.
on,
You know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah.
But like
It might just be one round of
the
shots, for
engagement
sure.
Party, we went through
Beer,
wine.
Which party?
wine.
You guys drank a case and a half of
I was
wine.
going to say,
Yeah.
there's
Where
days
was all
where
the
I
That's
just
wine?
why
like wine.
everybody was
What?
asking.
Where
for
was all
wine.
the wine?
Everybody was
It was
drinking
on the
it.
counter. Everybody
was on the
drinking
counter.
wine. Yeah, everybody was drinking
We
wine.
did like a
yeah.
case and a half.
Which
of wine.
party?
Dang.
The
The
engagement.
engagement
Oh, the
party.
engagement party.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
wine
Everybody
was a big
drinking
thing.
wine. I
No,
noticed
I
that.
didn't-
People were
I did
drinking
not.
wine like crazy.
Yeah.
You know.
I was not taking part in
I
the
don't
wine.
know. Yeah, well, whatever you were drinking.
No, I'm just saying.
I'm just
Yeah.
everything's different.
I think I
only
drank a lot of
party
wine that day.
That's always good, and
New
really
Year's?
like New Year's is always good, but it's been cyclical. Cyclical, is that the right word?
Don't ask me.
Like,
Like
who-
it goes back and forth.
who's getting drunk, right?
A person, like
yeah,
each
like
individual
we
person.
pass around who's drunk.
Ah,
There was like
it's a good
you
way
know,
to do it, though.
Every year, one of us would be like the most drunk. Like mine was the COVID one, like
The 20s.
the 20.
That was
yeah,
20,
the one right
20
before
20,
COVID.
right
so
before
2020.
COVID.
Well, everybody was
That was the
drunk
black
that
and
one.
that was the black and
man.
white one.
Everybody
I
was drunk
was-
that.
You know the real
Well,
common
there you go.
denominator in the last like
No, but that was the
decade.
real black and white one.
All the best parties I'm bartending.
Yeah, that's true.
All of them.
All of them.
I
What was
think
another
so.
great Uncle Phil's 60th?
That
was
was
a fun
big
party.
one.
That was
A
fun.
lot of people.
You
like that
would
one.
have drunk one that night.
Yeah, but I was bartending,
You was so
and everybody
drunk.
had a blast.
Then you probably should have been.
Did you say his
You were-
60th?
50th.
Oh, I was like,
50th.
I was thinking of my Apollo.
yeah, yeah. I'm like, what?
Apollo was like 70th.
Yeah, the luau's. You
The luau's a fun
Recently.
one.
You
The
bartend.
luau's-
Well, that was always fun.
And I always bartend.
And you bartend. Those are good.
I'm gonna try and do a luau this year.
Actually,
Uncle Phil's 50th was the
Only because I-
one with the stage,
The
right?
stage, yeah.
That
Only
was,
because
that
I
was
wanna-
a,
I
But
want
Michael
pig
got
and-
really drunk, but he
and
was
we
yeah,
can't
that
eat
was
it.
a prime
yeah. But
party.
me
You did the
and
did
Brian
the
and
stage.
Matt.
I what?
You did the stage with me.
Yeah, I did.
Remember we were trying to lay out the star for about 4 hours.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. That was a great party.
Trying to figure
Yeah,
out
That
yeah, that
was
was a good one.
That was a great
really good
theme
party.
too.
When people go back and talk about what the good parties were, it usually does have Mike bartending.
To be fair, I
That-
bartend a lot of them, but there's just parties where there's no bartender.
I will say,
it helps to have somebody
That's true.
who's like
Yeah.
actively sort of bartending.
I will
Even if you
say,
just have a beer.
It's a
anytime,
place to be around.
anytime
Yeah,
he's been
yeah,
there,
it's
it's
just like
also
a-
a social point.
Yeah, that's what I
Even
mean. It's a
like
place to
people
be
just hang
around.
out there,
Yeah,
and
you
you're just
hang out
talking,
there.
being you. So it does.
Yeah.
You're right. I can see
Yeah.
that. Yeah, it helps out.
Yeah, it's good fun.
So
For
now
next
we
time.
know.
Keep that in mind.
Now we
Keep
know
that in
every
mind.
party you're behind the bar.
I usually am. I got no problems with it. I like it.
No, we haven't
It
done.
started at what's it called?
What?
Funny enough, the wedding.
The wedding.
That was the first time.
The wedding.
I was like I was like a
Oktoberfest.
teenager.
The
We
wedding.
did. We did 2
Oktoberfest.
parties.
Yeah,
that
I
same
wasn't
day.
drinking at all.
We did a full-blown wedding,
so you
followed
say.
up by an Oktoberfest.
I wasn't. I was really like I don't know. I was like 14, 15. I said I wasn't drinking at all. I wasn't.
But you were bartending.
That's
That's
Yeah,
also
but you're in a
illegal.
private.
Well,
house.
if you're-
it's a
if you're home,
private.
yeah.
It's a
You
private.
don't
It's
know.
our house.
You don't know.
Still
The
illegal.
secret police will come and get me.
I don't think it's illegal.
I don't think so at all.
It's illegal.
I'm pretty sure.
I think it is.
Maybe not in New York, but like there's certain states where you can give your kid alcohol no matter like as
If
long as
you're-
you're
if-
it's in your
you're
home. I
there and you have to be there.
think. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like they can be like 13. It's
if
not
you're on
illegal.
private property, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This I think like Minnesota or one of those like Great Lakes places. It's like maybe Wisconsin, one of the big like beer ones.
Right.
it goes so far, and I could be wrong. Don't quote me on this,
Not
but
West
I think
Virginia?
no, it's definitely one of the like northern ones. But as long as your parents with you and they're like agreeing or whatever, consenting, I guess,
Yeah.
you can also drink at a bar underage.
Really?
Oh,
It's
that's
legal
interesting.
as long as your parent, like if you're sitting next to your parent and they're
Never
like,
heard
no,
of
it's
that.
cool.
What
that
state
up.
is that?
I mean, there might be a minimum age. Like I doubt they're having 6-year-olds, but that also might be a thing that's like they never put into a law because they're like, no bartender is gonna be like, get like, you know what I mean? Kid's like 14, it's your son or daughter.
Yeah.
You're like, all right,
I
that's
think-
fine. Like it's a parent's choice.
Right.
But if it's like a 6-year-old, they're probably gonna go, I'm not serving
I'm not
this.
serving
You know, what I mean? I don't know.
I think like by severity, like the most illegal thing is the selling, not even the buying, but selling to an underage person. I think
Yeah,
actually
usually,
just
right.
being drunk underage isn't a serious offense.
Well, that's like a weird law thing in general because I don't think it's illegal to be drunk or high on anything. If you're just, I mean, unless you're like driving a car, but if you're just caught, like if I was walking down
Public
the street,
intoxication.
No,
I
in
think
no,
public
but
yeah,
public
fine.
intoxication is
say.
only if doesn't you have to be like
Drunk?
no, but you have to
In
be
the
like doing
public.
something.
I don't think so.
Are you sure?
I mean, you got to.
if I'm walking down the street,
Oh yeah, you have to be
Totally
you,
normal.
You need to be
but I
acting
am
drunk.
Well,
You need to
they're
be
not
acting
gonna stop-
drunk.
Yeah, they're not.
yeah,
gonna
but do they
stop
not
you
have?
for
But they
that.
have like, I mean, there's crackheads and
But if there's a reason
and like
to stop
the
you,
fentanyl, they don't
That's true.
throw them in jail.
fentanyl, what'd you call it?
The fentanyl,
Well,
fentanyl.
yeah, because you can't.
The people that are like-
what are you gonna
I
get?
got you, I
Like
got
a lot of people, and they're on the street.
Lean, you know, like
lean,
junkie
lean. They're leaning
Oh.
over.
They're
They
leaning
never
over.
fall
They
though.
call it the
Junkie,
fold.
junkie
Fold.
lean.
They call it a
Got
fold.
it.
Fent fold.
Fentfold. I think a lot of people on the street, they say like the reason a lot of ways that they end up there is losing their ID. So arresting somebody. What are you?
I
Gonna
just
do?
feel like it was like
you have no
it,
identity for
it was
them.
more drunk
Nothing
and
is
disorderly.
illegal unless you get caught.
Well, of course, but I just mean it's not
So you can walk the
illegal.
streets drunk all you want underage.
Yeah, public
No, I'm saying, like, if
intoxication is
you're-
probably more of like a tag on,
like drunk or
you're-
disorderly.
Yeah,
or
like you're
whatever,
peeing on a
and
wall.
Like you're also drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
and
that
then
was
you
my
get
thought.
public intoxication for
Yeah.
peeing on. You know what I mean? It's probably more of like a
My
tag
point just
on.
being they do
You
this
can't
with.
pee on a wall.
This is like sort of
I
a
think you
cop.
can now.
I think
but it used to
public
be a thing.
peeing is legal now.
A debated thing. If somebody's getting again, if you're driving, obviously not. But like, let's say somebody was chasing me, a cop was chasing me, and I had like drugs in my pocket, and I ate them all. They can't. They lost their case. I can be high on all those drugs, but they're not gonna pump my stomach for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well,
They
it's-
can't.
Well,
Right.
listen. Even if you could
You know what I
get
mean?
charged with public
They
intoxication, it's
they
probably
can't get
less
you for possession of
serious.
the drugs. 'cause you
Yeah,
ate
it's
'Cause I
probably
ate-
less
right,
serious of
even
a
though I
crime
could be actively high
than
on them.
possession.
I don't
Yeah.
have it on.
or
like,
dead.
Yeah.
Or dead.
I was
right,
gonna
whatever.
say,
I'm-
how much drugs you swallow to get out of that crime?
yeah. I'm just saying, like, technically, even though they're like, like, sir, you're absolutely high on whatever. It's like, so what?
I am.
So what?
I am, but now I don't have possession of it.
I'm not causing a problem
Yeah.
for
But
anybody.
they could take you in though, right? Until you
I
sober
guess.
up.
I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
really
but
know the
I
rules
think they're
on that.
allowed
But my-
to take you in and let
For
you
any reason?
Yeah,
sober
for
up.
24
My point
hours.
is-
Because they could always say you're a danger to
You're,
yourself.
yeah, I guess
Yeah.
that's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they could always say that, and I
think-
think they could take you
I
in. But I
think-
think we've gone way off. I'm sorry, man.
I know. I was
Yeah,
gonna
make
say.
your point.
I think the
We gotta
public
freewheel this one.
intoxication in that
We
case
freewheeled
is
it
probably
quite a bit
not
already.
as
We did.
serious as possession.
What
you
were
know
we talking
I mean?
about?
That's your best bet.
Yeah.
Your best bet is to take it, because even if
No, you might as well.
you do get, they say like, oh, you're high, you have public intoxication, like probably not as bad as
You might as
possession.
well
Fight or
take
flight.
it.
You might as well just do
Oh,
it.
always.
Anyway,
That was
thanks for listening to our. We
That was
don't know
good.
what we were ranting about.
Hosting mostly.
Hosting.
It
That's
actually
what I'm
was
gonna
hosting.
put. That's what
Almost
I'm
the
gonna put
whole
in the
time.
note. It was pretty much hosting,
It was
Hosting.
hosting.
and then it went off into
Some people only invite you to their house for parties. That's how it's.
I don't know who that is.
Parties and to do
no for
work.
birthday and for work.
You guys are invited over my house any day you want to come.
Thanks.
In
That's
fact,
true. I have multiple times stopped by Johnny's
Thanks,
house.
you
like, just to come hang out. That's
exactly
true.
unannounced, pretty much. Like I'm
Yeah, I
on,
sent
I'm
you
in
a
the area.
text. Yeah.
I come on over. We give you a spread and everything. So
I brought bread.
Thanks for listening. As always.
Stay angry, annoyed, and amused.